After almost 4 months, we say goodbye to WA and cross the border into the Northern Territory. Our first stop, Katherine, where we spend a bit of time exploring the gorge and the hot springs in town. Then we head to Litchfield National Park and spend a few days exploring some of the best waterholes we've seen so far.
Welcome to a new episode.
Yeah, here we are. We're almost in the NT. We're about a few steps away.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to this week and exploring Katherine.
Yeah, so we've had an amazing time in WA. Now we're just about to cross the border. Stopping at Katherine first, head into there, check out the gorges and the swimming holes and stuff like that, and then gradually make our way to Darwin this week.
Yeah, stopping at Litchfield as well.
Yes, Litchfield as well, and a few national parks, which will be really cool. So I've never really been to the NT except Uluru, so really excited to see what there is in store. Yeah, no, it should be good. Yeah, we're not quite sure what this week holds. So. Yeah, but that's the fun of travelling. So we'll just, I think we've been planning in WA for so long, we've kind of neglected NT, but now it's here. We'll check out, see what there is to check out, and let's hit the road.
Yeah, thanks for joining us and hope you enjoy this. Here we are at Buley Homestead Caravan Park. We're about 15 minutes outside Katherine, so just before Katherine. We got here at about 6 o'clock last night, only just made it to check in. We weren't actually supposed to get here this soon. We booked in at a different caravan park, Boab, from tonight onwards. But we had a bit of a minor caravan issue, so we decided rather than do a stop off between Lake Argyll and Katherine, we would just do the whole drive so that we could get it sorted this morning. Here is the problem. Yeah, we managed to completely shear off our grey Anderson plug. We realised at Timber Creek, not even halfway, when we stopped at a roadhouse, and Chris just was checking the hitch before we got back in the car and saw that we had no grey Anderson plug anymore. So it's obviously dropped off at some point on the trip, and it's been quite a bumpy road, we need a new one. So I called an auto electrician first thing this morning, a mobile one, and he will be here hopefully in about half an hour to get it fixed. I'm also going to get him to have a look at our 12-pin plug, because we noticed a day or so ago that one of the pins, the plastic's just melted slightly. So if that needs replacing, we will get that done too. In the meantime, Archie and I are going to go for a nice little walk and enjoy this lovely surroundings. There are lots of cows and horses here, so it's a lovely spot. The facilities are quite rustic, but if you don't mind that, then it's really nice. I could quite happily stay here a few days, to be honest. Hey Archie, have you been a good boy today? Did you have some breakfast? Unfortunately, Chris isn't feeling very well today. He's got a bad headache. So we are going to take this opportunity to do a Hannah solo adventure. I've come into Katherine, I've been to the visitor centre, I've got a fridge magnet, our obligatory fridge magnet from the newsagents, and filled up with fuel. And now I think I'm going to head up to the national park and maybe check out Edith Falls. Here we are in Nitmiluk National Park. I've just pulled it into the car park here. There's a visitor centre here, another visitor centre, 2 in one day. I'm going to quickly go check out the visitor centre, see if I can get a map to find out where I'm going. It's a beautiful day. I think I will then have to slip, slop, slap some more, and slap, slop, slip. I don't know, whichever it is. I'll pop some sun cream on, more sun cream on, and then go for a bit of a walk. Okay, there's a reason that I bring Chris with me on these things. My plan was to go to the National Park Visitor Centre and then go to Edith Falls. However, speaking to the lady in the Visitor Centre, the two are actually miles apart. So to get to Edith Falls now from the Visitor Centre, I'd actually have to drive all the way back into Katherine and then up the main road and enter the National Park at a different point. Probably something I should have researched before I set off, but I didn't. Anyway, the plan has changed. So there are some lovely walks that set off from here, and there is a nice lookout called the Barroway lookout, which looks out over Katherine Gorge, and apparently that's really stunning, and especially at this time of day. So there's either a 5-kilometre walk that goes round or a 900-metre walk that just goes straight up to the lookout. I think I might do the 900-metre walk. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if I suddenly get this bout of energy, but probably not. So looks like I will do Edith Falls tomorrow. It's really weird doing this walk without Chris. I'm so used to just chatting away to someone. It's doing it on your own, you really hear nature so much more acutely. And it's really interesting here because on my left, the trees are absolutely covered in bats, or flying foxes as she called it in the visitor centre. And it's really interesting, or apparently the time to be here is at sunset, to go up to the lookout, because that's when all the bats wake up and go flying through the gorge. But I think I'll have left by sunset today. But nonetheless, just looking at them in the trees, every single tree, there must be thousands of them. Glad I'm wearing a hat. If you love stairs, this is the walk for you. Okay, we've made it to the lookout. There's a wonderful storyboard here on the lookout. I really love visiting these national parks and hearing the dreaming stories. You might have heard me talk about this before, and I just find it really interesting, sort of we know the geological history of these parks, but actually hearing the indigenous stories about how they came into being and the creation stories. And here's no exception. This tells of the story because it's all about a river. So it tells of a dragon-like figure in creation coming from the west called Narbilil. Yes, I think it's Narbilil. And it tells the story of how the gorge was created. And it's in a wonderful storyboard here. During Bua, a dragon-like figure came from the west. His name was Narbilil. Narbilil passed through the blue-tongued lizard dreaming places, Yeraligerin and Wunguri. The country was dry, so he carried water in a dilly bag. The birds tried to get the water, but Narbilil was too clever for them. At the entrance to the gorge, Narbilil heard the sound of the cicadas, nit, 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 nit. So he called this place Nitmiluk, cicada country. Narbilil then travelled far upstream and camped on the plateau. While Narbilil was resting, Warlark, the cave bat, speared him. Narbilil's dilly bag was pierced and the water spilled and filled the gorge, creating the river. The birds were happy and drank the water. They also discovered Nabilil's fire sticks growing along the water's edge, so they could make fire to cook with. And thus the gorge was created. What's also interesting is a lot of the national parks were given back to the Aboriginal communities, and so many of these national parks up here in the top end are jointly managed by their owners, their original owners, and also Parks and Wildlife. So it's really interesting and great to see sort of how two very different cultures and communities or organisations work together to make this a special place for the public. I read on Wikicamps that on Tuesday mornings that the Ghan is parked in Katherine railway station, and it just happens to be a Tuesday morning. The Ghan is probably the most famous train in Australia. I think it's the only one that I'd heard of before I moved here. So it's pretty impressive seeing it in real life. Maybe one day we'll do a trip on it.
Oh, well, that was really nice, wasn't it?
It was lovely.
So that was Hot Springs in Katherine.
Feeling relaxed?
Yeah, I haven't been feeling well lately, so yeah, that really helped feel a lot better now, actually. But yeah, it's just a public hot springs, open to anyone, 24 hours a day.
Free.
It's not that warm, but it's actually just the right temperature. Yeah, it's really nice. So quite busy at this time of the afternoon, about 4:30, but yeah, definitely worth checking out if you're here, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
The water's just so clear, and there's little pools that follow each other down to with a few waterfalls as well. So yeah, really nice little spot, actually.
Yeah, really good. So it's our last night here in Katherine.
Yeah, so unfortunately I haven't really seen a huge amount because I haven't been feeling too well, but Hannah's been out and about. And yeah, we'll head to Litchfield tomorrow.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
All right, let's go. Right, so we've got the electrical issue fixed. Hannah probably mentioned the other day that this completely sheared off. It sheared off because we've been having trouble inserting it into the plug in the car down here. It just wasn't going in properly at all. It wasn't staying in properly. Occasionally it was fine. It had never fallen out before, but the road was really bumpy, so it fell out. But yeah, got an auto electrician in, he replaced it. It goes in much easier now, so it's so easy to do, which is much better. Makes me happy. And then obviously the 12 pin was had a bit of melting issues. He didn't replace the 12 pin on the Caravan. He said that's fine, there's no issue with that, but he did replace the unit on here where we connected into the car, if you can see there. So this is brand new, which is all nice and not dirty, which is nice to see. And yeah, he just said when looking at the 12 pin, like we do regular checks on it, but he said what we really need to do is get a Stanley knife and just separate the pins. You can see that in there there's 12 pins, each of them have a little bit of air gap in between them, so he just said buy a Stanley knife and every 2 or 3 weeks separate them, and then we won't get that arcing issue, which is what the issue was, that they were arcing and melting some of the plastics. So yeah, I think we're all good.
What does arcing mean?
Arcing is just like a overheating of electrical components and the currents going from one circuit
Kind
to
of like
another.
a short circuit.
Yeah. So hopefully we won't have any more issues. So let's plug it in and hit the road. Too easy. It's much easier, so much easier. I can just get it in. Perfect. Let's go. What's that saying again? When it doesn't rain, it pours. Look.
Oh dear.
So we've just rocked up at Banyan Tree, and yeah, 3-hour drive to get here. Just in a rush to settle in, tired. I had this little cap over the like connection. This is the reversing camera connection, which I never do. I never do that. So when it came here, I just missed it when uncoupling everything else, and then had to move the car forward, and I saw it go. And I tried to stop it, but it was pretty much gone already. So very frustrating, because we just had the auto electrician fix half of these things yesterday, and now we're going to have to get another auto electrician when we're in Darwin. So very, very frustrating.
Good morning. We are here at Litchfield National Park. We arrived here yesterday afternoon, and we're staying at the Banyan Tree Resort.
Yeah, we're just staying down the road. It only took us 5 minutes to drive into the national park. And yeah, it's a pretty small national park, so it's only 1,500 square meters, so it's a pretty small one in comparison to some of the others.
Yeah.
And a lot of the sites are kind of like within 50 k's, so yeah, I think today we'll check out Wangi Falls.
Yeah.
And that's probably the furthest point away.
Yes, I think our plan of attack is to sort of come in a few times. So
Yeah.
we'll do the furthest couple of things this morning, and then we might pop back sort of later this afternoon, and then another session tomorrow morning, because yeah, it makes it more interesting when you break it up.
Yeah, and because it's so accessible and so easy to get to, and only 5 minutes down the road, it lets us do that pretty easily. So it's quite a handy little caravan park down there. And yeah, looking forward to Litchfield. So this is one of 2 national parks up here. Obviously there's Kakadu and then Litchfield. Both similar, but Litchfield's just a lot more manageable, being the size it is. And I think I'm looking forward to doing some swimming today. Checking out some waterfalls and swimming.
Yeah, so we're going to try and make the most of it before it gets too hot. I think it's a high of 36 today. So at the moment it's 8 AM and it's 22. So we'll probably, probably this next couple of hours is the nice time, and then I think we'll go and hibernate back in the caravan when it gets too hot. Yeah,
for a few hours, or hibernate at the bar.
Oh yeah, that's an alternative.
All right, let's check out Litchfield.
Okay.
Okay, so we just arrived at Wangi Falls. It's probably about a 40-minute drive from the entrance. Managed to sunscreening up over here.
Very important.
Her frail English skin gets burnt everywhere.
Delicate, not frail. We like the word delicate.
Right, delicate. So yeah, there's it's about 150 meters to the falls. And then you can do a loop walk, which is about 1.7k up the cliff and around to the top of the falls. So we might do that as well while we're here, may as well. And then might finish it off with a swim. That sounds pretty good to me. What about you?
So now I might just swim and watch you. Maybe I can just watch you do the walk.
Yeah, all right, well, you watch me. They even have free Wi-Fi out here.
Oh, wow.
It's random, isn't it?
It's a bit random.
Yeah. All right, I can hear the waterfalls already, so let's check them out.
Right.
Well, it's low crocodile risk. Anna. Oh, it's a lovely temperature, this water. It's nowhere near as cold as I thought it was going to be. You know, it's not the warmest, it's not hot springs, but it's certainly a lovely, lovely temperature, especially on a hot day. So I'm going to go check out the main event, Wangi Falls. Let's go have a look.
We've now come to the termite mounds. So they have some spectacularly big termite mounds here at Litchfield National Park, and we thought we would come and check them out. We're on to day 2 of Litchfield National Park now, and we are at Buley Rockhole. We've parked up here, and there's actually a walking track between here and Florence Falls. So we're going to go do the walk.
Yeah, we're up nice and early. So it's just before 8 AM, but we get here before the heat does, because it gets very hot and humid out here.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's have a look at the map. We're just here. So I guess we've come down here. Oh, strange. I guess we're gonna head down there and then head to the Rockholes.
I think Florence Creek's that way.
Yep. So yeah, it's about a 1.6 kilometre walk to Florence Falls. So we thought we'd check out Buley, work up a bit of a sweat, and then go for a swim.
So we've walked up here to Florence Falls from the Buley Rockholes. We had a lovely swim there, it was gorgeous. Chris managed to leave his sunglasses there, didn't you, Chris?
Yes.
So we'll have to hope that they're still there on the way back.
You can see Florence Falls.
Oh wow, yeah. So we've got 135 steps to climb down to get to Florence Falls, and then 135 steps to climb back up afterwards. So we'll be giving our already sore calves a bit of a workout. Just reading one of the information boards here, which is interesting. So in the wet season, the sandstone here acts like a sponge and there's lots of cracks in it. And in the wet season, all of these cracks get filled up with water. And then in the dry season, if you wonder where the water is coming from for the waterfall, it actually comes out from the cracks in the sandstone, and that's what feeds the rivers and the creeks in the dry season. Really interesting. Okay, you sure you want to do this, Chris? Once we go down the 135 steps, it means we're going to have to come back up. Yes? Okay, here goes. $4 down. 131 to go. Thank you.
No worries.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to another week.
Oh yeah, that's tasty.
So thanks for joining us for another episode.
Yeah, it's been a interesting first week in the NT, hasn't it?
It's a lot greener than I expected it to be here.
Yeah, just look behind us. Look how green it is. I thought it'd all be outback, red, deserty, brown, burnt.
yeah.
But
and in the national park as well.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
It could be different when we go to other places, but Katherine was really green as well, which was a surprise. So it's really only the roads in to these places which are just dry and desolate, really. But
yeah,
it's been an interesting week so far. Like we've had, I haven't been feeling that well this week, unfortunately. We've had all the
couple of car issues,
which have been a real pain. It's been hot, really, really, really hot.
Yeah.
But we've still enjoyed our first week here in the NT.
Yeah, feeling quite relaxed, especially now.
Yeah,
Friday
exactly.
afternoon, beer time.
That's right. We're not quite at happy hour, but we started early today. So cheers, everyone. Happy Friday. But yeah, Litchfield's been... I'll give an honest review of Litchfield from my personal view. First we did Wangi. It's called Wangi, not Wangi.
Wangi.
So Wangi Falls. It was okay. It was good, but it wasn't the most amazing thing. But today we went to Buley Rockpools and Florence Falls, and both of those spots were absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Weren't they?
Yeah, they were amazing.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, they really were.
It's just like Litchfield has just done a 180 for me, and all of a sudden, like those two spots are probably up there in my top 5 swimming holes so far we've been to.
It's definitely gone from good to great. Day 1 to day 2.
Yeah, that's right, absolutely. So it's been a really interesting week, and we've really, really liked Litchfield because of that as well. And just the water there, the water was just so clear and such a nice temperature, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
So refreshing after a hot day. It's just amazing.
So tomorrow we head to Darwin. Looking forward to that. Exploring a bit more of the NT. Yeah,
never been to Darwin either, so it'd be really good.
Yeah, so our overall route here is we'll go up to Darwin, we do Darwin and Kakadu, and then from there we're going to go down the centre all the way down to Ayers Rock before we then come back up and then head across to Queensland.
Maybe.
Probably.
COVID depending. We have to check it every day, don't we?
Yeah, and we think that'll take about 4 weeks in total.
Yeah. We'll probably be here, 4 to 5 weeks, but it really is COVID dependent.
Yeah.
Queensland had one case today. It's only a case, but you know how quickly these places close their borders. So
yeah, it's very much an exercise in being planned, but being flexible to your plans.
Yeah, well, it's important. Like for WA, for example, we had so much planned, and now we don't have a lot planned, which is probably the way to go for the rest of the trip.
We're coming out of season, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely coming out of season. A few spots planned, but nothing too major. So because things just change so quickly.
So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.
And remember to subscribe, give us a like, and leave us a comment below. We love answering the comments.
And if you put your notifications on, it means that you'll know every time we have a new video.
Exactly. So why not just do it?
Cool.
See you next
Thanks
time.
for joining us. See you then.
Cheers.